What's up, everybody? We're here. We're live. Sorry for the late delay. Welcome back to another episode of the CJ and Fitz Show. As always, all right, man.
What's up?
What's up? Another great week of football.
A lot of things went down this past weekend. We got a lot to talk about, so.
Well, go ahead, man. Take it away.
So what do you want? You want to start with the highs and lows, or the injuries, or?
Oh, absolutely, highs and lows, man. It's my favorite topic.
All right, so my week 6 highs. I had 2 of them. First, I want to say I went with Derrick Henry. The dude had 20 carries, 143 yards, and 3 touchdowns against a good Bills defense. He is averaging like 29 carries a game in the last 5 games. So, I mean, the dude is the definition of a workhorse right now for that team.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm actually it's Tennessee's this really weird story, right? Because they got a lot of injuries in the secondary, and during that Monday night game, like they kept piling on the injuries, right?
Right.
But at the same time that's happening, you got Julio Jones and A.J. Brown kind of emerging, right? And I was skeptical of it at first because, like, when Art Smith left, he left. He went to go be the head coach for Atlanta, and I was really unsure of how their offense would happen because, like, Tannehill was thriving with Smith, right? Like, Tannehill was having and he's kind of off to the slow start, but, like, you see it, and you said it, like, the Bills' defense going into that game was rated number 1. I mean, they're still based on points scored and yard and everything like that just because they posted 2 shutouts. Like, they're still the top defense. But that's a tough defense to go against, and Tannehill looked really good. They were, the Bills were playing them in a man. They were playing them in a man. They weren't blitzing, and it really showed even like an unhealthy – or not, I don't want to say unhealthy, but not a 100% A.J. Brown really stepped up, right? So now, on top of that, you add the workhorse, Derrick Henry, right? He's always been there, but now it's like, how do you defend Tennessee, right?
Well,
how do you defend them? And I think down the stretch, I think Tennessee is really going to emerge as a true AFC contender.
I think Julio re-injured his calf, so that's something that we need to watch out for. So, but other than that, yeah, I agree with everything you said. AJ Brown's back, Julio's back. I mean, when they're both healthy, and then what do you do? Stack the box and then let the receivers run, or do you?
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to defend, man. Like.
And don't forget their tight end. Like, he's really good. So,
Swain or Frisker?
Frisker.
Yeah, Frisker. Yeah. So you're gonna laugh at this, right? But my high for this week is actually Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, give them props for their first win.
They got their first win. I think
he's like undefeated in Europe.
I don't know. I don't really know if it's a high because they got their win, or is it a low because Miami decided that I'm going to start Tua. Not only am I going to start Tua, but I'm going to start Tua in London. You know what I mean? Like, you're not home. You're not like it's just kind of now. Like, Tua didn't play bad. I think he had one. He had
a really good game. He was 33 attempts for completions for 329, 2 touchdowns. He had that 1 interception, but I mean that's not a bad game for him.
No. Yeah, I mean Jalen Waddle had himself a game, right? Like
2 touchdowns. Yep.
so, and then so Trevor Lawrence goes 25 for 41, 319, and a touchdown. I think the real story of Jacksonville's offense is like I'm still blown away that they drafted Travis Etienne.
Right.
When they drafted him, because James Robinson's totally emerged as a true number one, and he could totally carry the load.
Dude, I read a stat on him. He played like the last 3 games. He's played over 90% of the snaps on offense.
And
the dude is doing it all for them right now.
Again, like even though they got the win, like Jacksonville or Lawrence sacked twice. You know what I mean? How many sacks does Lawrence have on the season? I mean, I don't know. I mean, bottom line, like that's my high. I'm happy for Jacksonville. Funny story, Jacksonville's almost undefeated in London, dude. Like I feel like they never lose when they play in London, and they play in London almost every single year.
They have a total of 8 games, which is the most by far.
Yeah. So they play really, really well in London. So if anyone's a betting man, like I'm always going to take Jacksonville in London for some reason. So, you got what are your lows? What are your lows for the?
Well, so I got 2 of them. I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos. They both started out 3-0. Carolina had wins against the Jets, the Saints, and the Texans. The Broncos had wins against the Giants, Jets, and Jaguars. But now they're on a 3-game losing streak where the competition went up. So Carolina's got losses against Dallas, Philly, Vikings. Broncos have losses against the Ravens, Steelers, and the Raiders. So, I mean, the competition...
I'm seeing some comments here real quick. Yo, Fitz, what's up? Oh, Ricky Korea, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Long time no see. Go Pats, go. Yeah, all right. All right. What is it? All right. So out of these 2 teams that are on this losing streak, right?
And Sam Darnold for Carolina is looking like the Sam Darnold when he was on the Jets now.
So he drives him down the field, though. He hits Robbie Anderson in the end zone to tie the game, and they. So,
but
is that the same Sam Darnold then from the Jets? Because Sam Darnold from the Jets would not have been able to lead his team down the field.
I agree. But what I was going to say is his receivers had so many drops this past game, which that was one of the reasons.
Is that on him though?
No, it's not on him. But what I'm trying to say is,
sorry, man, I will defend Sam Darnold to
the team. The competition's higher, so the first 3 games they had Jets, Saints, and the Texans. So I mean,
so here's one difference between the 3 losses the 3 wins that Carolina has and the 3 wins that the Broncos have. Carolina has 1 divisional win. The Broncos do not. Right? So who's on the up and up and who's not gonna?
Well, right now Carolina because of that divisional win.
Right. Like I don't want to say that. I mean, it's tough. Carolina's playing. They're both playing in really tough divisions, right? Denver's probably in a tougher division than Carolina.
Yes.
However, Carolina's got 1 team in their division that just absolutely
beat anyone on their good day.
Yeah, so I like Sam Darnold in the Carolina Panthers and what's happening there and emerging. Stephon Gilmore's coming in now.
I think he practiced today.
Yeah, he did. He practiced today. They put McCaffrey on IR after waiting 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So that It tells you something about his. It's a short-term IR. I believe it's 3 weeks. So they really just want.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to rush it and let him, come back and re-injure and be out another whole another year.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that. So,
so I got two lows as well, right? So the first low, and it's kind of like an oxymoron because they actually won, but since we're on the topic of Carolina, how many games is Minnesota gonna win? By the come on, like the weapons that you have on offense there, you should not like. It shouldn't come down to it shouldn't come down to these last
overtime or
yeah, like
last minute drive. No, I agree.
And then my other low is the Detroit Lions, man, because I was so touched and moved by Zach Campbell's after game speech that I really thought it was going to fire up his team, man. I really did. I thought they were going to be pumped, ready to go. And
it was opposite of that.
they did not.
Do you think? How long do you think Jared Goff's got before he's out of Detroit?
I don't know, honestly. It's I don't know. I don't think Jared Goff's career is over by any means.
And I don't think he's the problem. I mean, he doesn't have the weapons like he did in with the Rams. But I don't think he's the problem.
I don't think so either. The problem in Detroit is that it's the same thing. It's the same Detroit story every time, right? It's super inconsistent, right? Your playmakers make a play one time and then your playmakers don't make a play.
Yep.
You show signs of growth and then you're back to
0-6.
You're back to being immature. I you know what I mean? I can't grasp it. I like their front four. I like Detroit's front four. They're quick, they're agile, they can be effective, but if they're not getting the help over top, then you know what I mean? Like you can't get a coverage sack. You're not going to you know what I mean? You're not getting any coverage sacks at all. So, but again, like I said, man, like if my coach came out after a game and was in tears saying that I want these guys to win so bad, like they work so hard, and then you turn around and you get blown out by a really good Cincinnati team, and I was riding Cincinnati all year, and then last week I was like, you know what, Detroit's amped up, man. Detroit is amped up. And they're just gonna come out. They're gonna roll Cincy, and it was the complete opposite, man. And I guess that's what I get for being a human and having feelings, because it totally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're a Detroit fan, I feel sorry for you guys, because it's like every year it's the same story over and over. So. But I do have a shout out, I'll say another high real quick. How about them Ravens holding the Chargers to only 6 points? That defense.
Yeah, it's impressive because Baltimore's defense for the first couple of weeks was looking really sus, man.
Yes.
So I'm all about it, and then the offense to control the clock and really keep like big scoring teams like that, off the field. We got a question here. Should I trade Antonio Gibson for James Robinson? So I'll come out and say it. I would trade this because James Robinson's really not splitting reps with anybody. Like CJ just said, he's on 90% of these snaps, right? Where Gibson, one, is battling the shin splits right now, right? So his production is already kind of down. He's also splitting touches with J.D. McKissick, who's, their third down back. He's even proven to be effective on second downs. They also have Jarrett Patterson. They
is
also
this
have,
a PPR or is this a dynasty or a PPR? What kind of league is this?
Yeah, Devil, what kind of league is it? Is it a PPR?
I mean, either way, James Robinson, he's catching the ball. He's doing everything for him. So
Yeah, I would do the trade.
and Gibson's been kind of banged up the last couple of weeks. And then, like you said, you got the merge of McKissick and Patterson.
It's yeah. I mean, Patterson. Yeah, he said yes. The PPR. Yeah, so I would definitely trade. I would totally yes. I would trade Antonio Gibson for James Robinson in a heartbeat in a PPR league. Again, he's 90% of the snaps. He's definitely catching the ball out of the backfield. James Robinson is a very valuable back.
It's too much volume to turn down.
Yeah. If it was a dynasty league though, so on your if it was a dynasty league though, I think Antonio Gibson has the upside in a dynasty league.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, it's it's unique. Antonio Gibson's very, very talented back, and it sucks that he's battling these shin splits right now. I mean, I was in the military, you were too, right? We're doing running in boots and all that stuff. Like, shin splits are no joke, man. They suck. Sometimes I used to think I had them when I really didn't. I think I was just more or less being a baby. So like, but yeah, I mean, it's I had to fix our little scoreboard tracker thing over here, or it kept skipping the last one. So, but hey, great question, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I don't know why. Like, I have this love for the Washington football team, and they're not giving me any love back at all, right?
Like, they're in the same division, as my Cowboys, but there's so many great football players on that team that you can't hate them, and I agree 100%, man. Like,
just in a hypothetical situation here, where do you think they would be right now if Fitz was quarterbacking? Like, do you think it's Heineke's issue? Or, I mean, clearly it's not. It's really the defense. The defense is not vibing. The defense is not vibing at all right now.
I mean, the secondary's giving up a lot of points. So,
they have so much talent on that defense, though, man.
I know. I mean,
Holcomb at linebacker is phenomenal, dude. Like, or no, I'm sorry, that's Cincinnati. Who am I thinking of? Is it Holcomb?
Yeah, he's a UNC guy.
Thank you.
So yeah,
there you go again. Second guessing myself, man. I get so amped up.
Yeah, he's all over the field making plays.
But yeah, I got this love for the Washington football team. Here's something that we never actually talked about. How do you feel about the name Washington football team?
I mean, it is what it is. Like,
so like I'm all
pretty
about
sure.
it. To me, it screams like nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like, Washington, like, the franchise was one of the first franchises in the NFL. You know what I mean? So like, boom, Washington football team. Like, that just screams nostalgia. Like, I think it's a great name, dude.
So, supposedly they're getting another name change after this year.
I know. Oh well.
So we'll see. whatever they're called.
So, all right, let's jump into some key injuries and some news for for the upcoming week or what's happening right now around the league. So currently, the entire Cleveland Browns team is injured.
Like so many like football that impacts like the team. Like you got the Baker's hurt, both running backs hurt, all the receivers are just about hurt. It's like Case Keenum's getting the start. Man,
Uh,
and
yeah,
I picked them to win the division. So
I picked them to win the division too, man. I was really, I mean, I thought Fitz was. I mean, obviously, you don't ever anticipate anybody getting hurt, so I thought Fitz was actually going to finally make the playoffs for the first time on this team. So, just to jump back to Washington real quick, Sean asks, why do you think what Washington's so bad? Is it management?
I really have no clue. Like, I mean, they're giving up big plays
Yeah,
on
I don't
the
think
defense.
at this point I don't think it's a management point or even a coaching point. Like Ron Rivera is a
Oh yeah,
well-known, very talented head coach. Like I just think, I just think there's some late bloomers, man, and as much hype that was on that defense coming into the year, you would hope that they emerge here eventually. I mean, you got 10 weeks left, or 11 weeks including this week. You know what I mean? So, 10 games left. So maybe they can pull it together. Some other news. Looks like trade talks between Miami and Houston are starting to heat up. News actually about this broke earlier today.
yeah.
Is if this happens, is it the end of Tua?
No, I don't think it is. Like even if he don't get another chance in Miami, he'll go somewhere else and have an opportunity. Kind of like Sam Darnold,
Where do you think he goes then?
maybe Detroit.
Interesting.
Or maybe Pittsburgh, because Ben Min, I mean, he's on the way out.
This is where I think he goes. I actually don't have an answer for this, but this is what I do know. If Brian Dable of the Buffalo Bills, offensive coordinator right now, if he accepts a head coaching position somewhere, and Washington, no,
Oh,
I'm sorry, not Washington, Deshaun Watson is traded to Miami, next year Tua ends up wherever Dable is head coaching. Brian Dable was the offensive coordinator for Alabama the year that they actually the national championship game where they bench Jalen Hurts and bring in Tua and he leads them to glory. Like
so if Miami trades for Watson, though, are they going to send him to Houston? So I mean, he could end up just staying in Houston.
I don't. You think they would do that? A 1-for-1 like that in the
Oh
middle
no,
in the middle of the season? I mean, unless because Watson. I mean, if Watson gets traded, he's not playing right away, right? So then you just continue to ride Jacoby Brissett. Like, are you getting more production out of Jacoby Brissett than you are Tua?
you throw some first round, second round picks in there. I think Miami jumps on it because
So
they don't. I don't think they have a first round pick. It got traded to Philly.
I'm Houston right now, and I'm calling you up. Hey, it's me,
Oh,
Houston. I want to send Deshaun over to you. What are you gonna give me?
well, I was thinking to give them the first round pick, but they don't have one because they gave it to Philly. So
You don't got a first round pick? Never mind. Never mind. I'm calling Denver. All right?
Denver. What are you gonna get, Drew Lock?
Well, man, don't get me started on that. Man, I can't remember which show it was. It might have been the first show that we talked about it. Like, I don't like the league. The how do I say that? There's this mantra among the league that these young quarterbacks come out and they're successful right off the bat, or that they're going to be successful, and if they're not, fan base and management it's already calling for a coaching change. Then they're calling for a new draft pick, or
I mean, that's the new genre, man. That's what everybody's like accustomed to now.
And Drew Lock was a high prospect coming out of Missouri, dude. Like, and he looks good in preseason, and he's stepped in and he's made plays when he's had to. Like, I think the guy just needs to get a full season under his belt, and he hasn't had one yet.
I agree.
So
I just think it's that system he's not built for this, for the Elway system, basically.
Yeah. Well, Elway's not there anymore. He's not.
Oh, he doesn't have anything to do with it?
He's not the general manager anymore. I think he's like the. I don't even know if he might be like the president of operations or something.
One of them titles.
Don't quote me on any of that, because last week I had said something about Jack Del Rio being with Las Vegas and taking over as the interim head coach, and I was way off because Jack Del Rio is the defensive coordinator for Washington. So I don't know what made me think of that. Something like, So yeah, don't quote me on anything in regards to where somebody is now. All right, dude. Let's get into picks this week. So we got a really, really interesting Thursday night game here. So let's pull up. Let's get the record situated here.
Your boy CJ's in the lead right now.
So, for those of you just tuning in, me and CJ have been at this now for a couple weeks. We actually missed week 2. Some complications, but so we got 5 out of the 6 weeks so far. CJ's leading the way. He's got 50 wins to my 45. We still haven't quite decided yet what's going to happen to the loser. Maybe the loser does a stream in a dress or something. I don't know.
As like once it gets closer to the end, we even might do a poll and let people to decide.
Yeah.
So.
But I gained one. No, I didn't. I didn't gain a single win.
Right.
I thought I gained one on you this week, and I didn't.
You should have went with Cincinnati, man.
Yeah, I know. All right. I'm not going to get back into it. I talked enough about Detroit tonight. All right. So we got really interesting. To start it off, we got a really interesting Thursday night game now, right? With all the injuries. Even Teddy Bridgewater is questionable now with a foot injury.
Yeah. I mean, they're just Cleveland is so banged up right now. I'm gonna go with Denver, and just based on that defense right now, I'm just gonna stick with them.
I'm gonna take Denver as well, actually, and it's gonna. I mean, in the past 2 weeks, you got. The past 2 weeks, Cleveland has given up 48 and then 37 points on defense. Now, not saying that Denver is this high-powered offense that's going to go out there and put up a 40-burger on them, but Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Cortland Sutton's having himself a great season. Tim Patrick's a really reliable wide receiver. Noah Fant is just, he had a great game last week. I just think that the pros for Denver outweigh the pros for Cleveland, which Cleveland doesn't have many right now. So I'm going to take Denver as well. Washington at Green Bay.
So just about every time I pick Washington, they lose. And it's like the same story over and over. And Aaron Rodgers is looking like Aaron Rodgers, so I'm sticking with the Packers.
Yeah, me too. Man, are we going to have any differences this week?
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe this next game. Who knows?
Ooh. This next game is actually
The kapow!
Kapow! CJ's upset pick of the week. So.
All right. So I took Cleveland last week, but that's before I knew everybody was hurt, and then they end up getting hurt. But I'm taking Tennessee over Kansas City. So Kansas City is actually favored 5.5 points, and they're playing in Tennessee. In the last 5 games, Henry has averaged 29 attempts for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kansas City is giving up 5.2 yards a carry. And I just think Henry has another monster game, which is going to bring him closer to that single season, rushing record. And yeah, if they control the clock and the defense makes a couple plays, I think Tennessee can pull up the upset.
Now, do you think I'm with you on this? Actually, I like Tennessee over Kansas City as well. Tennessee and Kansas City always kind of play each other tough too. I'm curious though, like what do we get out of Mahomes? So like Josh Allen against Tennessee, he put up good numbers, right? 3 touchdowns. He threw, a pick. He did throw a pick. It was tipped at the line, but they did a really good job pressuring him and hurrying him. And that same kind of blueprint is the same blueprint that Buffalo put on Kansas City the week before, right? Where they put a lot of pressure and contained Mahomes, and they kind of made him hurry and throw. So I'm very interested and curious, if Mahomes is kind of ready for that, because you have to assume that this is going to be the kind of defense that Tennessee is bringing to the table. But yes, Derrick Henry, and I mean, as far as
just control the clock, and Mahomes has thrown 8 interceptions already this year. So maybe the defense can not add to that number and just hand it off to Henry.
Yeah,
and also, if the running game opens up the passing game, then you have Tannehill, which he's able to find A.J. Brown and Julio if he plays. Like, that secondary's been giving up a lot of points too. So
yeah, the Chiefs have given up 500 plus yards on the ground right now to running backs, and they haven't faced any dynamic running. Not even dynamic. I don't even want to call Derrick Henry dynamic.
Workhorse.
He's just, dude. He reminds me a lot of LaDainian Tomlinson, right? Like LT. Like LT was a fantastic running back, and LT was a little. I think he was a little bit more agile, outside of the pocket. But Henry, they clocked him at like 21 miles per hour when he broke that 76-yarder. The guy, he's a freak, man. Like, in a good way. This is totally that is a term of endearment there. So. Yeah, I really like this, dude. I like that. And probably for the first time and probably the only time this year, I'm actually going to take your Kapow with you.
Nice.
I find it really absurd that Kansas City is 5.5 point favorites on the road. Right? So, yeah, it's pretty. That's nuts, man. So, cool, man. That's a good pick. I really like that. So,
appreciate it.
All right, moving on. We got
Atlanta and Miami. What do you think?
I'm actually going to take. I'm going to take Atlanta here.
Taking Atlanta?
I'm going to take Atlanta. I think you see Kyle Pitts had his breakout game, a week before their bye over there in London against the Jets. and they're getting Calvin Ridley back. Cordell Patterson is
Mr. Utility.
Mr. Utility, dude. I mean, he is really, it's unfortunate it's this late in his career, but he is truly finding himself a role in that offense.
He's a running back, the receiver, he return kicks, punts.
Yeah, he's a very, 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 very talented player, and I kind of I like Atlanta getting the taste of high-powered offense that they got against the Jets, and I think they can do this against Miami too. And again, like I'm not sold on Miami and in any shape or form. Like even with their secondary, right? Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, like they're not having the kind of year that they should be. So yeah, I'm gonna take Atlanta. What about you?
Well, I'm gonna keep it interesting, and I'm gonna take Miami. I'm gonna I'm gonna go with Tua. See how he does. Maybe Jalen Waddle continues the momentum that they two had together in the last game, and it brings it over in this game. And I'm gonna go with Miami in this one.
All right, cool. Rematch week 1, Jets at New England.
From what I saw from Matt Jones this past weekend, I am taking New England. The kid played phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, he throws a pick six and then turns right back around and throws a 75-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna take New England too. I think they keep it on the ground. I really like, I think they're getting back Damian Harris this week. I know they had him last week. He was injured.
A little banged up.
He's a little banged up, a little questionable. But the rookie running back, Rahabor Stevenson, dude, he had a great game last week against Dallas, and I think they keep it on the ground and New England.
I got a prediction.
Go ahead.
Jacoby Myers catches his first touchdown pass in this game.
Okay, I like it.
He has the most receptions without a touchdown than anybody in the NFL.
I actually had to drop Jacoby Myers this week in one of my other leagues because I had to call me crazy. Anybody that's watching, I actually had to drop. I didn't want to lose my kicker, and and my kicker's on bye this week, so I had to drop Jacoby Myers. But like I'm stacked at wide receiver, man. Like it was between Jacoby Myers, Sterling Shepard, and I think I get a little bit more production out of Shepard.
Actually starting him in my league.
Huh?
This couple weeks, so Jacoby Myers, I'm actually starting him.
Yeah.
So
Carolina at the Giants.
Man, like I know the Giants are getting back, I believe, Sterling, but Kadarius Toney, who was making his name for himself for the past couple weeks, I think he's doubtful with an ankle injury.
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna go with Carolina. I think this is a bounce back game that they need, and I think they can do it against the Giants.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same here. I'm gonna take Carolina on the road. They do need a bounce back, and yeah, I think Sam Darnold, DJ Moore, have themselves a really, really big game. So, great AFC matchup here. Cincinnati, Baltimore.
I'm standing on the Lamar Jackson train right now. This dude and the defense, like I said, they stepped up last week against the Chargers. I know Joe Burrow and that Cincinnati team is playing really good, but it's in Baltimore, and normally Lamar plays good against Cincinnati, so I'm gonna go with Ravens.
I'm I was gonna say I want to take the hot hand here, but they're both teams are pretty hot.
Right.
I'll mix it up here. I'll go Cincinnati. I do think earlier in the season, Baltimore secondary is still kind of sus, and I'm gonna take Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and think they have themselves a great game. So, and not to mention too, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's having himself a year, dude.
Yes, he is.
He's having himself a year, and against from a fantasy standpoint against running backs, like Baltimore's not doing great against running backs here. So, actually, news this week though. So Le'Veon Bell is actually, officially activated off the practice squad.
Scored a touchdown last week.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown last week. They brought him up from the practice squad last week, but now he's activated. So he's actually on the 53-man roster now. So
I believe Latavius Murray got a little banged up, so he wasn't.
Yeah,
he didn't play a lot, so that's why Bell was in playing. So
I actually grabbed Le'Veon Bell off of our in our dynasty league. So
next game we got Philly versus Las Vegas. I just think Las Vegas is too good of a team right now, and I'm sticking with Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's it's a away game. Philly, it's traveling out west. I'm going to take Las Vegas too, but I think it's a close game. I don't know. I'm not seeing enough out of Jalen Hurts yet to really
right
to really back that. And and honestly, talk about adversity here. Like for Las Vegas to come out and play the way that they did, and after all the drama last week, I'm gonna
they beat Denver by 10 points.
Yeah. I'm going to take Vegas here, too. Sean chimes in. Ravens-Bagel game should be a great game. Defense looks good. Lamar looks great. And Le'Veon Bell played really good against the Chargers. Bengals also a very good team this year. Yeah. No, I'm with you, Sean. Like, that's it's probably when it I'm going to try to tune in and watch that game. That's going to be a really good – I mean, this could be the AFC North right here.
Yeah, I mean, if Cleveland stays banged up, and then you never know what's going to happen with Pittsburgh. So, yeah, this could be it right here. The battle of them two teams.
Detroit and LA. Now, is this this is interesting. Is this a Jared Goff revenge game, or is it a Matt Stafford revenge game? I'm going to say it's a Jared Goff revenge game because he's going back to LA.
I think it is, but LA is looking too good right now, and Detroit, they're not. So I'm taking Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp, man, who's playing lights out as a number one receiver right now.
I don't even know if it's fair to call him a number one receiver. Like, yeah, he's got more touchdowns than Robert Woods, but like Robert Woods is highly underrated, and he's probably one of the most consistent receivers in the game, man. And he has been his entire career. They just got some really good things happening over there, and it's almost unfair to say that was Jared Goff the problem? And maybe he was. So, but yeah, I'm going to take the Rams here. Houston at Arizona. Now, I'm going to do the logical thing here, and I'm going to take Arizona. However, anybody that's watching right now, I'm going to call this a trap game. I really am. Arizona's playing Green Bay at home next week. And I think this is a trap game, and I think it's a lot closer than anybody really anticipates. But I'm gonna logically, it only makes sense to take Arizona here.
I'm taking Baby Yoda, Mr. Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks too good right now.
Oh man, listen, dude, what a great story that's like over. There was a lot of how do I don't want to say controversy. It wasn't controversy, but it was Cliff Kingsbury comes in here and he's we're not going with Rosen, even though he drafted Rosen that year.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're gonna go draft Kyler Murray, and I'm so far, dude. It's working out for them, and they're exciting. And I mean, just D Hop just had himself a game last week against even with Cliff Kingsbury. So the Arizona coaching staff was, they tested positive for COVID the day before the game. Like,
right.
D Hop had himself a absolute awesome game against Cleveland, but even guys like Kirk and AJ Green totally having a bounce back. I don't even know if it's a bounce back year. Like, is it just?
It's like he's reasserted himself. Like I don't know.
Kind of like he's rejuvenated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like this, like So yeah, lots of good things happening over there in Arizona, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see somebody like Arizona emerge on top right now in that division, and because it's the NFC West is super super tough division. They're tough amongst themselves. You know what I mean? They probably play themselves harder than any other division, honestly. Maybe the second is AFC or the NFC East. Like NFC East always plays themselves really, really good. But yeah, I'm gonna take Arizona here.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Chicago, Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna take the veteran Tom Brady over Justin Fields.
Yeah, me too, man. He's leading the league. He's got over 2,000 yards passing right now already.
Like, the older he gets, the better he is. It's crazy.
It's like the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. You ever see that movie? Right?
It's unreal, man. Like, even Antonio Brown, like, is having a good season with them.
Yeah, dude, that story of Antonio Brown's like the whole offseason, like he's living with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's keeping him out of trouble, like.
Yep.
So it's no, it's yeah, I'm gonna take Tampa here too. Yeah, Sunday night game is Indy and San Francisco.
I think this will be a good game. Carson's actually playing pretty good.
T.Y. Hilton came out. He came back last week and he looked pretty good. He didn't practice today. He didn't. He showed up on the injury report battling a quad injury.
I think it was a quad. Yeah.
And I think it's just. I think that's more or less of a. Oh man, I haven't worked out in a while, right? Like, so.
I saw a thing that said Ty could be in a retirement home and come out of retirement and still put up good numbers against Houston. Like, he always plays good against Houston, no matter what.
Oh, it's another divisional game, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to take Indy.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to take Indy.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor looked pretty good last week.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is really...
emerging as that number one.
Solidifying himself as the number one, absolutely. And then you got...
Hold on, I'm going to take the Niners.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I thought you made your pick already.
No, I just want to see what you were going to say.
Oh, trap game, huh? Your trap
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners. I'm waiting to see how Jimmy Garoppolo, comes back with his injury. I know George Kittle is on IR, so look out for Debo Samuel. Big game for him, I believe. Yeah. So I'm gonna take Niners.
And then the Monday night game is New Orleans and Seattle.
I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. until Russell comes back, I think the Saints are a good enough team. They have a good enough defense to get the job done against Geno. Which Geno's not playing bad, but I just think
No, Geno's not playing bad at all. I mean, TJ Watt had himself a great game last week against them, and so yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints here.
all right, cool. So that's 3 games that we picked different.
All right, that's 3 chances for me to get back in this or fall further away. I like it. All right, we're gonna jump over to Fitz's fantasy formula, where I'm gonna hit you with some fantasy starts.
Let's go. Some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean we kind of touched on all of it. Actually, one thing we really haven't touched on this show at all was the Zach Ertz trade to Arizona.
Yep.
And so
it just makes that offense more like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, they lost Max Williams for the year, so they needed to go get a tight end, and so this is pretty great. Like, so Ryan Tannehill, we already kind of touched on this. Why I think we should start Tannehill. The KC defense is sus. It is. Henry's going to control the clock, and then if Arizona, if Kansas City is, in it because they have that high-powered offense to always be in the game, you're going to see a lot of AJ Brown, Tannehill. So I really like Ryan Tannehill this week. I think he actually really stepped up last week against the Bills, and I think we're slowly going to see that really scary Tennessee
offense.
Sam Darnold, bounce back games. It's great. Sam Darnold's throwing. He's averaging like 2 picks a game now. His last 3 starts, right, which all happen to be losses. So this is I think more or less this pick, me starting him it's more about just really liking the guy and the opportunities that he has there in Carolina, and I think against the Giants defense here and DJ Moore, like this is a week to start him. I think he has a bounce back and they really get things moving again. Cordell Patterson, against Cordell Patterson against Miami. I think it's going to be a lot of, so you got Calvin Ridley coming back. Kyle Pitts kind of emerged, and they're going to need this check down guy, right? This guy that's Mr. Utility, and I think Cordell Patterson has himself a great game against Miami. DJ Moore, I just kind of touched on that. Zach Ertz comes into Arizona first week. And yeah, I think he's going to get some looks, man. I think they want to try him out. I really do. They want to try him out, and I think they want to see what he can do in this offense. And so I'm saying start Zach Ertz, and then start Dallas Goedert, right? Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz gets traded. Dallas Goedert now solidifies his role as the number 1 tight end there. So, and then a sleeper pick. This is actually courtesy of CJ. CJ says start Brandon Cooks against Arizona.
They're going to be behind.
Yeah.
They're going to have to throw. And Brandon Cooks is like a low-key putting up stats this year, so.
Yeah. Why do you think? So Sean asks, why do you think the most disappointing? Who do you think the most disappointing quarterback of all time that has played an entire season with a team? Who do I think the most disappointing?
Oh, I already know for me.
Go ahead, answer it.
Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf. Oh man. I kind of want to say Tim Couch, man.
But Tim Couch took Cleveland to the playoffs.
He did, but that was it, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't even it wasn't even like they went on a run, you know what I mean? They get into the playoffs at 10-6 on a Hail Mary play against Pittsburgh, right? I mean, what year is this? We're talking like
he didn't say worse. He said disappointing. Okay, I see. I can go with that then.
Yeah, you know, Tim Couch was, and it was like Cleveland was just coming back into the league, right? Like after they packed up and left for Baltimore, and Cleveland's looking for a hero, and you got Tim Couch here, and I mean, but it's kind of the same situation as like David Carr, right? Like, so you're coming into a really bad situation from the get-go. So is it really their fault, or is it the franchise's fault? So I mean, there's a few, man. I mean, you could get into Jamarcus Russell Jamarcus Russell, right?
Yep, the Raiders.
Yeah.
I would even say Josh Rosen. A lot of people thought he was going to succeed.
A lot of people thought Josh Rosen was the best quarterback coming out of that draft.
Yeah. And it turned out to be the worst.
Yeah. So we didn't really. We're kind of running late into this now, but for any of you checking out this video right now or checking out the stream, so in the description is a link to our Discord server.
Yep.
And so the way CJ and I do this is through Discord, and we actually set up a live show voice channel. So as a podcast, as a entertaining sort of I don't know, we're just two dudes talking football, really, and we just want to share our love for the sport with everybody. So inside that server is a voice channel, and you as a member can actually join the voice channel, and you can join us on the show. You just kind of tune in and what's your name, where you're from, what's your team, and then we can talk about your team or talk about any subject that you want. So be sure to click on the link in the description, join our Discord server, and maybe next week's show you could jump on.
So yeah, I just posted in the chat box too. The Discord. So yeah.
But again, as always, thank you everybody for tuning in. We're slowly but surely trying to turn this into a pretty entertaining show. And there's going to be more to come every week. We're talking with each other and we're trying to make improvements on it. And so
we love the question
that you guys have in the chat. Feel free to throw it. We're not against the critics at all. I support criticism. So, but yeah, man, you got anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I just want to thank everyone that tuned in, and yeah, we love the interaction. So yeah, just follow us and we'll keep you updated.
So, well, as always, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.